where I'm at. It's not in Burlington, it's somewhere outside of Burlington, here in North Carolina. But wanted to talk about some very important things from this morning, from a conversation that I had, but also extending a little bit further to some of the veterans. Some of the veterans here that I just got done talking with were ones who had participated in Vietnam, so their experiences are pretty negative. In all honesty, this is a very sensitive, the whole thing is sensitive simply because some people cannot handle, they do not want to handle, or they are unable to handle in some capacity. In short, it doesn't matter whether you stand as far as with Christians, the church, veterans, some of the stuff is going to be really hard to handle. It's going to be painful or bloody in some regards. The people you've lost, the situations you got yourself into, even just having to move. So, in short, wanted to cover the part with one of the issues that. Let me get my drink first. Hang on. So one of the issues that kind of popped up first, and I don't want to go into the private part of it, but when dealing with issues outside of the church, a lot of Christians tend to struggle with addressing them in a way that meets all of the needs, meets all the questions, and that even helps the individuals. Because when it comes down to it, therapy and counseling, people generally go to others outside. Those who are trained, they've got a license, all of that, rather than to go into pastors and preachers and stuff like that. And this is for I know this is going to be broken down into different categories. And I'm not talking about outside of pills and medication. I'm talking about just like counseling and therapy. I don't know the numbers. I can't back that up. But what I can say is those within the church, they generally stand on scriptures and they don't deviate from them. They don't stand on much of anything else. Those outside, they generally stand on, I can't even say that either. Wow. Anyway, the point I'm getting at is if you're not a part of the whole church culture, the church environment, you're going to end up having trouble communicating to those on the outside. Therapists actually do a great job in between. So they'll meet your needs, they'll meet you where you're at, they'll get you help. And while they do differ from those inside the church in getting you help, because of the methods are very different, and they tend to get to the point where you may need medication, you may need to get some prescriptions, stuff that those in the church can't actually deal with. That all depends on what your problems and issues actually are. But for counseling and therapy, you generally don't need pills and medications. You just need someone to sit down with and either to listen to or to be able to isolate some of the issues and problems and point them back to you as far as where you're possibly struggling at. One of the problems, though, is it's not that those in the church don't listen. It's that anything that deviates, anything that goes outside of the Bible, and I've noticed this too. I've been having a lot of people challenge me on my faith, saying yeah, you're not a real Christian because you talk about things outside the Bible. And I'm paraphrasing. That's just wrong. I'm a veteran. There's going to be some things that go automatically outside the Bible anyway. Now, as far as the veterans go, I'm trying to figure out how to link this all together. The groups, these are groups of individuals that struggle, and some are isolated, which is a real shame because we as a whole definitely need help. Mostly because if you're not aware, you are broken when you go through these trainings so that you can be, the idea is that you can be remolded so that you can not just listen, but that you can follow orders and that you can make snap decisions on the fly. And the idea is actually sound. No decision is the worst kind of decision. So make a decision even if it's the bad one. The bad kind, the wrong kind. I love some of those stories. 3 days of Maladays? It was the most recent the most recent war movie that I've seen, focusing on a different aspect of the time near Pearl Harbor when it was attacked. 3 days in Malaysia, I think that's what it was called. Pretty solid. Underrated, but it was pretty solid. It's a very short conflict, and the video itself wasn't that long. It was like an hour and a half, I think. Anyway, I needed to talk about this because of the conversation that happened earlier and just getting done with the community here with the veterans. Both groups, those in the church and those in the veterans, we are in different circles. We talk about different issues hit us that are still critical and important. It's just interesting to see the two there coexisting, but not really interacting much. It's kind of like going back to that live discussion this past Friday on faith and politics. This stuff matters, but it's not happening. It's not being talked about. It's not being addressed. The elephant in the room, so to speak. Nothing's going to happen until people start listening and taking this stuff in and actually doing something with it. Talking about it is just the first step. Understanding and doing something with it is like the second step. Or in the case for like the alcohol, the AAA groups, admitting that you have a problem. That actually is like the second step in my opinion. Anyway, that's about it. I just needed to talk about this stuff. Church-related material and veteran-related material are critically important. As far as resources down below, anything that I list right now would be currently local. I actually think I'll do that. I think I'll list some local stuff down in the description down below for anyone who's interested. For everyone else, every other veteran out there, I really hope that you are looking to get some help and some support to make it through, because you're not alone, no matter how much you feel like you're alone. And somebody's cutting grass over there, so I guess I'll finish up. Let me know if there's any other questions here. I'll do some research. I'll look them up. I'll put down things. Just give me your thoughts. Give me your questions. Give me something here, okay? All right, until next time.